Does the president still have confidence that the vice president can get to the bottom of root causes of migration?
He absolutely does, and is grateful for her work in doing exactly that.
Why?
Why does he have confidence, or should I give you an update on a couple of the things we've done?
What gives the president confidence when he sees that March 2022 has 28% more migrant encounters at the border than March 2021 when she got this assignment?
Well, you asked me about root causes, right? So let me address that first, and what the vice president and other members of the administration regular migration. So what addressing root causes means is working with countries in the region to take steps to have partnership, be able to have people sent back to the region as needed.
About delaying the removal of Title 42.
Well, I would, again, remind everyone, because you gave me the opportunity, so thank you. Title 42 is not an immigration authority. I will get to your question, I promise, Peter. It is a public health authority. Congress gave the CDC authority to make determinations about when it should be lifted. So right now, we are planning and preparing for the end of Title 42 enforcement on May 23rd. But I would say that there are a range. The president agrees that immigration in our country is broken. It's a system that is broken. There are a range of ideas out there in Congress, Democrats, Republicans, others, some who support a delay of Title 42 implementation, some who strongly oppose it. And there are a range of other ideas of reforming our immigration system. This would all require congressional action. We're happy to have that conversation.
The administration is projecting a big budget shortfall for ICE and CBP should Title 42 be lifted. Is there a plan for how to get additional funding that's going to be needed to handle immigrants coming into the country? If that Title 42 is lifted, will you need funds for Congress? Can you divert funds from somewhere else? What's the thinking?
So what DHS said last month is that they expect the current funding levels will not be sufficient to meet operational needs, but they have a number of options available to secure the resources required to implement our comprehensive strategy. This includes reprioritizing and reallocating existing funds, requesting additional support from other federal agencies if necessary, engaging with Congress on that discussion.
How exactly is that monitoring happening? Inevitably, there are going to be a lot of questions about how was the money spent, who did the equipment get in the hands of, how was it used? It may not be the next few weeks, but this could be over the next several months or years of, was this worth it? Was it worth the cost? How exactly is that being done now?
Well, look, I think that if you ask most Americans, if you ask members of Congress, if you ask most people in this country, what's important to do now is to equip and provide the type of support.
Support in the beginning of the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War, and then there were years spent trying to retrace the spending on all that. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to be the case in this one, but there's no mechanism in place right now, at least.
I would point you to the Department of Defense to detail that further, but I would note, obviously, this is different. Obviously, equipment, ensuring we're reducing waste, fraud, and abuse is important to the president, but it's a different. But to be clear, we are recommending everyone wear masks on planes. That is what the CDC is recommending. That is the public health guidance we are following.
The president said yesterday that people should decide for themselves whether to wear masks on airplanes, and wondering whether his comment was intended to signal a shift in thinking in the administration away from mandates toward more personal responsibility.
Well, the president was answering the question quite literally, which means right now, as you know, we are not implementing the mask mandate because of the court order, which we disagree with. While he is still abiding by CDC guidance, and we recommend Americans do that across the country, they're still recommending people wear masks on airplanes. On Air Force One, which of course is a federal, not a private plane, we all wore masks on the plane when we traveled to New Hampshire yesterday. But we are not, people are not legally bound to wear masks. So it is a point in time where it is up to people, it is their choice in that regard.
Is the White House or the cabinet involved in any way in that decision-making process?
Well, we are entirely able to and legally able to be a part of the discussion, but right now we of course are deferring to the CDC on what they believe is needed at this moment. They obviously put in place this 2-week extension because they felt they needed that to take a look at the data, given that we've seen a rise in cases. So we certainly anticipate to hear more from them soon on their ask for for being able to have that time, which we think is entirely warranted. And the Department of Justice, as you noted, has indicated that they would appeal, not just because they think it's entirely reasonable, of course, to have this additional time to look at it, but because they think that the current, for current and future public health crises, we want to preserve that authority for the CDC to have in the future.
Biden as a candidate promised to decriminalize marijuana. When is that going to happen?
Well, the president continues to believe that no one should be in jail because of drug use. I don't have an update here. We are continuing to work with Congress. Sure. Well, I don't even play a lawyer on TV, so I won't get too much into legal strategy. But what I will tell you is the Department of Justice is just waiting for that kind of final comment to take action and appealing. They said they would appeal. In terms of when they will appeal, I'll leave that to them to speak to. The objective here is, of course, to appeal the 15-day extension, but also to preserve the CDC authority over the long term.
Two things. South Korean media is reporting that President Biden will visit the country next month, May 20th through the 22nd. Can you confirm that?
I don't have anything to confirm yet on the trip beyond what the president himself has already confirmed, but we will have more to say soon, I'm sure.
President's COVID advisors concerned that there could be an increase in cases, a spike in cases in the coming weeks because specifically the mask mandate being lifted.
Well, I'm not going to make a projection of that because I'm not a doctor.